Okay, let's worry about the porch here, and then we'll start dimensioning stuff. So let's go back in here to AutoCAD. We're going to go in here and just see we're still in the first floor layer. So we'll go from this corner out to here and over to there, and we've placed the porch. Now, what happens here is it says that there are two 4x4 posts. There's one here and one here, but I think that's going to leave this looking kind of strange without a post on the corner of this porch to hold the roof up. I'm assuming that the roof kind of comes out over at this point. So we'll go ahead and add a third one over here in the corner. So over in this corner, we're just going to make a line that goes this way 4 inches, up 4 inches, over 4 inches. So you're making a 4-inch square. And even though that's not the real size of it in real life, it's good enough for what we're doing here. So I'm going to move that whole thing from here to here. So now I've got a post there in that corner. Let's see, I think it said it was 16 feet over. So 16 feet there and 11 foot there, and then 11 foot to that corner. Let's see if we can come up with something close. So we're going to copy that window around that and go from there over this way 16 feet. And we'll copy this one right here. Repeat copy from there over 11 feet. Okay. So now we've got that in place. Okay, let's go ahead and start thinking about these windows and these door locations back here in relation to a couple of things that are going on. It looks like what they've done is they've done tell us how long it is from this wall to this wall, then these two walls there, and then those two walls. So let's pick a spot here. We're going to start by going to dim 1. We'll set the layer to dim 1, and we're going to go to annotate and click on dimension here. So we'll go from the corner to this one right out here, and we'll put it up, say about right there. Oops, see that's a mistake that happens when you get too close to some of these things. It's automatically trying to put that in there. That 13 feet that it's over top underneath of the yellow line is fine. It doesn't matter because it's not going to show up when we do when we print it. So those are the three that we had there. So now we'll go back in here and start thinking about dimensioning these windows. So from here to the center of that window there, oops, I want to click linear dimension, go from here to the center of this window, and I'm going to put it right about here. And then we'll do continue again, so we can just go to there, to the center of this window, and then to there, and then we'll worry about to the center of that window, and then it should be like 17 feet over to the center of this one. Looks like it's a little more, but you know, it's okay. So we've got those all figured out. Look back at here. So we've got all of that lined up, that one lined up, and then we got a 61-foot one over the entire length of the house. So we'll do linear and go from here over to here, and we'll put a 61-foot one somewhere right about there. All right, so there's nice spacing. It's evenly spaced. We're ready to move on on down to here. So we'll look, if we look at this right here, they did these dimensions right in here to tell us those things. We're only going to worry about the horizontal dimensions right now. We're just going to worry about this section right up to right there. We're not even going to bother with this over here. So we'll do a dimension, a linear dimension that goes from, say, that endpoint there to that endpoint right there, and we're going to put it right about here because that's going to go straight down that hallway without that door interfering. We'll click continue, go to there. We will go to, we're going to pick a spot right here. We're going to move this in a minute. It's actually going to end up being right here. And so this way we can continue to go linearly. There, and to there. And then this last one, it tells us how wide that opening is. Some of those we didn't know before, so we'll go with that. Let's see back here what they did. They left that just opening and put the door in the middle. So I think that's probably fair to do here because we did just kind of locate it right in the middle there. And so what we'll do is we'll take this one. We'll go from here to here so we know where that is, and we'll go from here over to here also. So that's how big that is. I'm not so worried about whatever your sizes are. They don't have to match that exactly, because some of the things we just interpret a little differently as we went through. Oh, this one is definitely wrong though, so we want to fix this, because this doesn't go to the opening. It should be center to center on the walls. Oops, I gotta get that one right too. Alright, whenever we're doing the walls, we want those center lines if we can help it. Alright, so we should be good there. Alright, let's go down here to the front. Whatever's on the porch, it goes from the end of the house to the center of the door, to the center of this door here, to the center of that window, and then to the wall there. So let's go look at that. We'll try to do this linear from here to the midpoint of that window is right about, it's on the porch right here, so we'll go with that. Continue, and we're going to go to right here. I'm going to pick the midpoint of this door, but it's going to change here in a minute, and I'll show you why. Alright, so what I failed to do here is we're going to draw a line that goes from here to here across there, and this should go to the midpoint of this line, and this one should too. Alright, and we can take that and delete, oops, undo. We don't want to do that, we just want to delete that one line right there, so that works out to be the numbers we want them to be at this point. So then horizontally, we'll go down to the next things down here, and we're going to talk about, we'll put that 161111 in there. There should be this opening. I didn't catch this before, so we might make some changes here in a minute to see what's going on. We'll find out what's going on here. If these are close, we probably do want to have the 9-foot opening, even though those doors were only 8 foot. We can change that on our drawings. It doesn't much matter. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a dimension from that end point there to this one, and we'll put that right there. Go ahead and click continue so we can continuously run those right across here. So notice that that comes out to be like 2'6". That ends up 8 foot. That ends up 2 foot, 8 foot, and this ends up being 2'6". So I think what we could do here is we're going to go back to home. We're going to stretch those. We're going to do a crossing right here and go this way 6 inches. And we'll do a stretch again. Actually, we want to go ahead and stretch it out a foot. So we'll stretch that 6 more inches. And that'll match what was on that there. That just changes our door a little bit. So we'll go 1 foot. And so now that works out to be about the same. And it still looks good. Excuse me. Alright, so we got that. Now we're looking at how long is the porch from here to here is the wall, and what the width of the garage is. So we'll do a dimension. Whoops, I'm going to annotate and do this linear dimension that goes from here to here. Drop that in place right about there, and do a continue, and goes over to that. So I got that one. And I think they do crazy things like add that 61 feet on this side here, so we can go ahead and do that same thing here. So we should have all of our horizontal dimensions in there. I don't think there's any more that we need to worry too much about, so let's start looking at the ones over here, and we'll start from the left and work our way right. Let's get these rooms here, the width of that part of the house. So go from here up to here and continue to that one there. We'll do a dimension that goes from here down to here then, and we'll click continue and get the width of that, and then we'll do one that goes from here all the way up to here. It tells us how wide the entire house is. Notice I'm trying to get close to spacing on those so it looks nice. So we've got that stuff over there on this side, so let's go this way. Is there anything? So now this is where we start talking about some distances in here, some things that we want to know. So when we go in here, we'll dimension from, say, this outside wall here to right here, and I'm going to drop that in right about there. You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to delete that because I want to put this one on this side for a very specific reason. And that reason would be that I want to be able to dimension to, there, and let's go to this center point here. I want to be able to dimension this part. So we want to be able to dimension from here, say, to right the center of that. And then we'll click continue so we can go to the center here. And then we can go to that there so we know how big that bathroom is. That may not be on here. It probably isn't. Maybe it is there a little bit. But it kind of works out alright. So that looks like there's a 2-foot difference between the two. Which I guess mathematically we could kind of figure that out if we put that there. So actually, I did that in the wrong spot. I want that to be on the outside wall. I don't know if you caught me, but there you have it. 6'2", 4'2", so we're good there. Let's go ahead and add a dimension that goes from here over to here. And I'm going to add one more that goes from here to right here. And I'll line that up. This one, so we know about how big that is. Alright, so now we're down to this end. Let's see, that tells us how big that is, how wide that hall is. So that one's right there. Let's do another one here, linear, to tell us how wide. Remember, we go to this exterior right here. Alright, so it looks a little wider than that. So we could do some change in here. Let's see if this is 7 foot. This is supposed to be 7'10", and that comes out right there. So when you add these things in, if this is 4'6" goes to this point right here on this side of that wall, which was because that's the exterior walls inside a garage. That means it's 6 inches thick. So that's still numerically that's correct. Alright, let's go back here. Are there anything that we need to worry about in here? So let's go ahead and put those dimensions on this part over here. So we'll get from here to here to worry about the windows and where the walls are located there. So we'll do linear and go from here to the center of that window. It may or may not be the same as what was on there on the the example that we have, but this is what we're going to go with. Get that one and that one right there. So we'll do a dimension that goes from, I want to use the linear dimension. Go from here to here. I'll drop this in place there and continue and go to that one. And I'll do another linear dimension that goes from there all the way back down to here to about right there. Alright, so we've got all of that kind of figured out. Alright, go ahead and click save and we'll move on to a new video.